Hello and welcome to 35th full name. And with me here is Hannah Deans, who working. I don't even know what's your exact job title, but I'll leave also that too. So thank you for having us here at Wonderful Catalyst. Maybe you want to say 2 or 3 words for the audience on the internet and the room, what Catalyst even is.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's really great to be able to welcome you all here. Catalyst, for those, or Catalyst Institute of Creative Arts and Technology. For those that don't know, we are a private institution teaching bachelor's and master's in a range of programs across music production, visual effects, film production, acting, screenwriting, all sorts of things. So yeah, it's really, really cool to be able to work with Stefan and the Node Institute and to have this stuff happening, yeah, to expand the community and welcome you guys here. So something a little bit. The only other thing I was going to say is next Friday night we're having a party. So if you feel like coming out to the Funkhaus, the students will be putting on a whole lot of there's music and sound and films, but also building a massive big Function 1 stack where they're going to make a whole lot of very loud, very cool noise. So that'll be quite cool. And yeah, that's it from me.
Thank you very much, Hannah. And I think we also have to thank Phelan, who was very important to make this connection. Thank you for that, Phelan. I'm always impressed by the kind of creative energy at Catalyst, and when we were setting up here, I was quite jealous. Just the Ausleihe, and you just kind of have 2 tripods. Here they are. That's luxury. And thank you very much, Hannah, for having us and for making this possible.
Have a great night.
Yeah, and that brings me already to our first speaker, Abstraqt. Would you please join me on stage? So Abstraqt is a multimedia body, but now we see they actually have an actual body, which they moved here to us stage. I would give you the holy HDMI cable. Turn down my laptop. And while Abstraqt is connecting themselves with the holy laptop, I'm just saying we're trying to make this TouchDesigner Roundtable meetups now roughly monthly. So please, if any of you would like to present here, share your work with us, you're very invited. You don't have to be super expert, a technical genius. It's like really open for anyone. We'd like to hear from people who just started out, who use it strictly artistic, people who build sophisticated tools nobody else understands. The range is what makes it attractive, in my opinion, so please never hesitate to get in touch at info@thenodeinstitute.org or through Instagram or even LinkedIn. Even look at LinkedIn messages. That's your thing. Go for it. Here we need still a bit. There is a bit of weirdness on this microphone, no? Cutting off. That's the gate settings. Okay. Yes, I need to talk for a little bit. Can I help?
Yes.
No, it's a Mac. I have no idea. Okay, we have to mirror the thingy, no? Sure. Yes. Maybe plug it, unplug it. The wait, were you not going through the adapter? I know there was. Okay, so you see that even the hard-boiled AV professionals often have a problem to connect a laptop to a projector, but it's done. So, Abstraqt, thank you very much for coming. We're very curious what you have to share with us. If it's getting too long, I will punch you in the side. Don't take it personal, ignore it. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you for coming.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Yeah, I'm Sasha. Nice to meet you all. So I'm a media artist and creative facilitator. I work here at Catalyst as well. I teach media art and TouchDesigner in particular at the VFX program. Shout out to all the VFX people here. Yeah, thank you for Stefan, Filian, and Hannah for having me. I've been around the Node Institute for a while, so it's nice to be presenting. And today I would like to use this talk as a kind of conversation starter to talk about our accountability as a scene in this world in which we live in, which kind of increasingly falling apart and becoming increasingly fascist, and to talk about what power we have, the power that we get from the tools that we use in our practice, and what can we do about it. So I will present a few other people who have been very inspiring for me in thinking about these topics, and then I'll show a few examples from my own practice. So the first group that I wanted to mention is forensic architecture. My students have heard me talking about them nonstop. And for me, I discovered their work quite early on. I guess many people know already about this organization, and if you didn't have a chance to discover them yet, it's agency, human rights group, art collective, and investigative bureau that mainly works, does projects that focus on the state and corporate violence. And the way that they work is that they create 3D environments of various places that are either destroyed due to, any of the reasons that are around, or are not possible to be accessed, and they create these environments in Unity, and then they invite survivors and witnesses of different war crimes or other acts of violence who give situated testimonies by walking through these spaces with the investigator. And for me, this has always been like a benchmark of what these tools can actually do. and I think it's fair to say that usually they are used in a quite a different way from this. But this is something that has been driving my interest and has been kind of motivating me in my own practice to work with this kind of technology. Another person I wanted to mention is Jean Mercier, who is a light and video artist who does really beautiful kind of abstract installations with light and video and a lot of haze. But then he's also a climate activist, and he collaborates with organizations like Ende Gelände or Extinction Rebellion, and he joins them in their direct actions and does large-scale projections on like mining facilities or governmental buildings and kind of amplifying the voices of the activists. Finally, there is the whole scene of feminist hacker collectives and digital activist groups, in particular the organizations that I've been following, Constant Digital Discomfort Working Group, TTP, and Varia. And their work has been, for me, very inspiring in the way of how we think about technologies that we are using. Like, we all know that AI is based on exploitation and extractivism and what the big tech is and what are the political implications of relying on these tools. But these people, they really take this question seriously and also propose other ways and other solutions to how we can work with digital media and do work online by, for example, creating alternative infrastructure which is rooted in community control over server infrastructure, for example, and things like that. Here I have the example of an action that they've been doing for several years. I don't know if they still do it, but it's called Trans-Feminist Counter Cloud Action, and there were like a lot of collectives that would organize on the 8th of March to advocate for people not to use cloud infrastructure and instead kind of relying on like locally hosted servers and other like community control servers and things like that, which also encourages people to think differently of how you can develop and organize your digital life. Now moving to my own projects. The first piece I'd like to present is a video performance called I'm Here Just for the Music. It's quite an old piece which was inspired or like triggered by my observation being in the music and art scene in Berlin, where a lot of people would be saying like, oh yeah, like I know that things are not going so great, but you know, I'm just a musician, or I'm just curating my music programs. What can I do about all of these things? And these conversations, they always remind me about my time in Russia, where I grew up, and I lived in Moscow between 2013 and 2017. And at that time, the war in Ukraine was already going on from 2014, and the level of repression in society was also growing quite steadily. And at the same time, the music scene at that time was amazing. You had so many different concerts, parties, clubs, everything. It was super fun to be there, and musically it was a very inspiring place. And people, including me, kind of completely failed to organize any meaningful solidarity with Ukraine at that time, and also protect our own kind of institutions in this country. And we all know where we're at right now. And so these people who were like here just for the music at this time, they either managed to leave like me, or they continue to be there and they continue doing projects and making music, but now they have recruitment points to the Russian army at their festivals, things like that. So I always have this perspective when I see like these conversations in Europe, and I think a lot of people who haven't went through such cycle of fascism, they don't really have this perspective. So I wanted to create a work that kind of opens this conversation in a way. And this piece is combination of like very stereotypical cliche kind of techno rave visuals, like audio reactive particle system, and then during the performance I would play it at like raves. And this is a photo from Planetarium where I played it last time. And then I would start to put phrases like "I'm just here for the music," or what it says on the photo, "I can always get pleasure until I look too deep, as long as I don't look too deep." And also different sort of like political proclamations like "fuck cops," "fuck Nazis," and things like that. So, and for me it was very interesting to observe like how people on the dance floor kind of enjoying their time, how they react to these things, and to kind of destabilize this feeling of like I'm just having a good time on the dance floor. And of course this like political proclamations, they don't bear any meanings in this context. And this like loss of meaning of this on these proclamations is also something that was interesting for me to observe how kind of people engage with this kind of politics on the dance floor. This other piece is a multimedia installation that I co-created with now kind of continuously collaborator Miriam Paletti. It's called "Who Do We Leave Behind When We Come Together?" And the story of this piece is that we were commissioned to do it by a festival, and we've never worked together. And the day when we met to first talk about what we're gonna do was the day when the Rafah crossing was closed in Gaza. And Miriam is has been working with this volunteer network called Watermelon Friends, who is people based mostly in Italy, but generally in Europe, who are in contact with families in Gaza, and they help them with whatever they can help them with. Originally it was like trying to help people leave, then it was just helping to find food. And we met on this day, and Miriam asked, what's the point at all to make art and the kind of art that we are doing? And we sort of made the project about this question. And both for me and for Miriam, like our practice is very community-based. And we wanted to ask, okay, like we put a lot of effort into building communities here and supporting people in our communities, but are we really, or like this community, the people in our communities, are these the people that need the most support these days? The answer is no. So why do we put energy and time into doing this kind of work? And our answer to this question was that through community building, you can create networks of solidarity and care, and art can be this vessel of moving these things and actually creating effect that goes beyond this immediate environments. And how this project was working is that it had 2 stages. In the first stage, people were invited to make pillows, as we see here on the bottom. And those people who participated in the workshop, they were prompted to make a gift for someone that they don't know and they will probably never see. So people who come to the installation eventually, and to offer care about somebody who is removed from you in time and in space. And then people who would come to the installation, they would see this video projection, and there was a soundtrack, and there was interactive, and the pillow. So you could like sit on the pillow and interact with the piece. The interactive element in the piece was a Playtronica controller with a few rings attached to it, and people were invited to put on these rings, and when several people were wearing these rings, their bodies became kind of like MIDI notes in a way. So when they would touch each other, it would trigger visual and sonic effects. And what we wanted to do in this installation is to explore how you can broaden your awareness from what's going on first visually and sonically inside of the environment, and then kind of zooming out from this. So we would ask people to like listen to the sound that are produced inside of the installation, and then start listening to the sound that are coming from outside, like when we did it at the festival, like the sounds of the party nearby, the sound of the birds, and then to do the same exercise with your emotional engagement with the people who are participating in the practice with you, and then the people who are kind of further away and further away and further away. Importantly, every time we did this project, it was a fundraiser for the family that Miriam is working with. So when you are in this installation space, you kind of receiving the care from the people who made these pillows for you, but also through your presence, you actually create some meaningful effect on the people that we actually think we have to support these days. This project is a multimedia performance called Peerless. It's been, I would say, like one of my main projects in the last couple of years. And it started from an observation that I did it in my collective called Smooth Transitions, and there's the second person who part of this collective, Dima. And we were thinking about the way technology is kind of structuring our collective psyche and our collective imagination, and we made this ironic observation that it's actually very similar to how religion works, like these narratives about AI saving us or AI destroying us, and the way that this big tech presentations that look like sermons, like we were also looking at how Apple stores, they resemble temples and things like that. So we kind of took this idea and pushed it a bit further, and we created this performance where there is a sort of religious sect that is based on technology. And the story follows this character who is embodied by Dima. I embody a priest. And Dima is this entity that is like between machine and human and something else, and it's been sent by gods to Earth to build a new communion between humans and other beings. But then the humans reject them because that's how we usually respond to the other, with fear and rejection. And then they go through kind of an identity crisis, they go through a spiritual awakening, and then over time they start to understand that actually the systems that created them and this divine infrastructure that is the core of their being is actually the infrastructure that is created to oppress and to control them. And by the end of the show, they kind of unite with the people, with the audience, and lead them to a revolt against this, against the systems. And why am I bringing this performance in this talk is that the dominant emotion in this piece is rage. For both of us, it was like a space where we could just openly scream and to express this anger that we are holding inside of us when we really engage with what's going on outside. And I had a conversation with someone who described art as a rehearsal of something that you are not able or not ready to do in a completely wildness. And for us, this performance is also in a way a rehearsal of some kind of public action, or the way that we think about this is that, you know, a performance is a sort of public action. You are creating a social situation in which some things can happen, and it can be very sterile and very protected, but it can be potentially disruptive. So through this work, we are we have a lot of admiration for people like Palestine Action that would like break into Elbit systems and like destroy equipment, but we are not there yet. Through this work, we are trying to become bolder ourselves in what kind of things we are able to do, and also to empower other people to engage in some meaningful action. This last project, I think, that I brought is actually has nothing to do with media art, but it's been quite a life-changing experience for me to work on this. It's a project called Gear Up, and it's also in collaboration with Miriam and with another person, Jona Wolf, and we there was a report by Amnesty International about the state of the right to protest in Europe and the different threats that the right of assembly is facing in countries. And they collaborated with a Center of Applied Human Rights and the History of Art departments at the University of York, and created a joint open call for people to respond to this. And we became one of the many collectives that worked on these topics. And what we, our project was focusing on the police violence against the Palestine Solidarity movement in Berlin and in Germany in general. And we've been working on this piece for 2 years now. It has like many manifestations, but mainly we are doing workshops either before protests or at protests. The first thing we did is the photo that you see on the screen, where we created the space where people could exchange about different tools that they use for at protests and how they can help them, and kind of like knowledge exchange environment. We made these zines about also different tools that we found useful and different practical information for people in the German environment, in the Berlin-based environment, to how can you be prepared, what are the numbers that you can call, etc., etc., etc. And later we started doing workshops at the protests. So we did one on the 8th of March, and the last one we did on the 1st of May, where we were making these noisemakers. So I'm gonna demonstrate. We found this on Parents' YouTube, but yeah, it's amazing. We were all really impressed by how loud it is and how fun it is. And so yeah, we brought a lot of this pipes with us to the demo, and then people would come and they would make one themselves. And then we collaborated with our friends who do drumming at protests. And so there was like a group of 20 people who were doing this, and we were marching through Kreuzberg and making sounds. And it was very inspiring to see how having a thing like this in your hands, it also makes people so much more engaged in the protest, because suddenly you have a role, and suddenly you're a musician, so you're like kind of in this group of like people who are kind of creating this energy of the movement. So yeah, and this project is going on. We're probably gonna do more things like that, and I think that's it. Yeah. So as I said, I really would like this to be a conversation starter. I believe that there are people in this room who care about these things as well, and who are thinking about this too. So I'm curious to learn about what your experiences are, and what kind of things you are working on, and what your perspective on this is. So please come to me, let's chat, and that's it.
thank you very much for bringing this topic to our usually very unpolitical table, as much as you can be unpolitical. It's quite interesting. I've been thinking about that a lot. No? I'm usually not doing anything political, but I also feel the same urge, like shit's really hitting the fan and something needs to be done, but what is it from within the realm where one feels comfortable? Of course, one has to leave the comfort zone, but the point that I'm always interested in a bit thinking about it, and I'm not doing it, so I cannot criticize anyone, but I'm still thinking about it, is where is it just something that one does within a bubble that's accepting all these things anyway, and when is it actually developing an impact in the sense of changing the minds of people who are not already in the bubble? So my best negative example is the fuck AfD sticker. You know, you've seen it everywhere. Like, it doesn't change anybody's mind. It's just for people to feel better, right? So I think that's a really bad example for activism. I think this booklet that you show is super interesting, but that's also not really art, but that's just good old information and kind of education. And I think the value of education information is completely obvious. But again, the question is, how do you reach people outside of where your reach is anywhere? And I feel if you look at the internet, if you look at Instagram and so, it's sometimes shocking when you look somewhere else and you see the same image of, for example, Berlin police beating up a young woman at a protest. And like, of course, if I look in my Instagram, hundreds of people, they're all like, oh my God, how can you do it? And then you take a ride, and then you come to the Instagram, where under it there's like 200 people who like, yeah, give it to them, fucking idiots, she earned it, and so on. And that's where you realize, oh, wow, okay, so we're just talking to ourselves, and there's all these other people who think this is cool. And there might be a lot more. So, what's your thought on that? Impact question.
Yeah.
How important is it even?
I mean, this question is basically like what this first piece was about. I'm here just for the music, like, you know, the fact that you're like at the rave, you say like, free Palestine, like that's not something that makes a difference in the world. So I'm constantly, like, for me this is very important that I have my favorite meme, which is this like photo of two Aperol Spritz, and there's like this canal and the bridge across the canal, and below is written decolonization. Anybody who has been at Biennale should relate. So yeah, like that's kind of the image I always have in mind when I do my work. So this is why like a lot of things that I do are, for example, fundraisers, because if you like raise money that you send to somebody, this is like a very concrete impact that you have. And it's also, I have my issues with this as well, but like this is kind of one benchmark that I have. And you know, like from the things that I showed at the beginning, the stuff that if you risk your security and safety enough to like go and actually disrupt some things that are like happening in a coal mine or something like this, you actually care and you actually make some kind of impact. Of course, like not gonna have like some super lasting effect, but you know, we have to start somewhere, and you can do like a little things that creates a tiny bit of difference. And you know, then maybe you find some deeper opportunities and more impactful things that you can do. But it's also about us learning what actually our capacities are and where our superpowers are, like what can we actually do well. So I deeply believe in like small steps, and also as I mentioned before, in a kind of more negative way, but also I actually still believe in this, that my work has it's very much community based, and community organizing is a big part of my life, and it's very hard to do this right and to create trust and create lasting networks of support and care inside of a small community. But I think it's still very important to do, and that's where you also kind of find allies to create more stronger actions and like more lasting effects. And in terms of like how do we talk to people who we disagree with, I mean, I don't know. But like in this particular example, I think it's very close to my my heart. Like I think the point where people in Germany arrived that you can just watch that amount of police violence in the streets and just be okay with this, it's already like extremely alarming. Like, I mean, whatever these people, from whatever perspective you are looking at it, if you see that brutality and you say anything else but it is not acceptable, that's just it's a very red flag for a society. And I think, you know, there is no universal answer, I would say, like how to talk to people that we disagree with. In the case of that you're bringing up, I think it shouldn't be a conversation about political beliefs. It's just not acceptable that these things are happening in the first place. Whatever people think about topic of the protest, you know.
I think what I take from that is that while you're working with media, you're not working through media, right? Because I feel always when protest takes it to the media is at a certain level, the media is highly controlled, so it will show it, but it will also make it like just another form of entertainment. So I think you say that it has to be broken down to the personal level, to the actual physical body level, and not the completely virtual, could be anything level. I see that point. But you said it should be a discussion starting point. So are there any contributions from the audience? And give me a second, I'm going to look for the microphone. I found it.
Hi, thank you. I don't know if this is a question, but related to what you were, the both of you were starting, especially the fact that usually this is not, you know, the Node Institute is, usually we don't talk about politics, or there is not something so much political in our conversation, which is perfectly understandable. But, you know, meeting, for example, an artist that is working on this, on a completely maybe far away perspective, what as an audience member, what triggers me is the fact that anyways, as an we all, as I mean, I'm an artist as well. We have the possibility, we have the privilege of working with critical sense. So it's not about necessarily being political with the tools that we use, because, you know, everybody interacts with their own tools and their own practice as the level they choose that is comfortable with them. But I think that the superpower that this type of conversations have when they happen is that we can show that having like a, you know, there is no answer all the time to things, especially with politics, but the idea that you can develop a critical conversation, especially related to, for example, technology, the whole corporate idea that AI, you know, potentially is great, but how do we deal with the whole extractive approach, the super brutal exploitation, you know, brings interesting conversation for us that we use technologies, and we can show that there are avenues for making things a little bit different. So those are little seeds that can, you know, bring hope into a society, so people can understand that they don't have just to accept things the way they are. Sorry, this doesn't sound very much like a question, but yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for this comment, question, intervention. And I mean, I agree with this, and I think like it's just sometimes the feeling that I've been having from the art world, which I'm like from both the art world that I'm part of and that I'm not part of, is that it can get a bit self-indulgent, this idea of like critical conversation, where you just like, oh yeah, like then I'm thinking about what you said, that yeah, we are like in a group where people kind of agree with each other and we talk about, you know, fascism and exploitation, and then we go home and we sleep. So I think, of course, critical conversations are very important, and that's, I also agree, this is the part of the art's superpower. But I'm also like very focusing a lot these days about, okay, what are the solutions? What do we do? And I think in this sense, this like feminist tech world is very inspiring, because like there people are kind of tired of just complaining about things, but they're like, okay, let us like teach people how to set up a server, you know, and then you can like actually stop using like big tech, you know, you don't need your like Google Drive. And that's a step into some better world. Again, there is always a perspective where you can say none of this matters, but still like small steps, small solutions.
I'm very familiar with this kind of idea. Now my explanation to myself is, okay, we're creating something, or we're trying to show a broad amount of people who think normality is just as it has to be, that there are other ways, and that's already something. But as the situation gets more and more intense, I also ask myself, is that not just an excuse, right? To say, yeah, the thing that I'm doing is kind of naturally already a critique to the system just because I'm doing it. Is it not too easy? I mean, this is a critique to myself. I wouldn't say that to anyone else. It's what I'm thinking about, and that's maybe the danger, and I think the potential that art has. If you think about the reason why this shit can go down is because people are soaked in propaganda, like from the beginning to the end, like really hardcore. And that's the one power that we have as artists, right? We can work with the same tools. We can do propaganda. But if we engage in propaganda, are we not also doing exactly the same thing? So this is also neither a question nor an answer. Maybe the audience can help.
Hello. Oops. Hello. First of all, thanks a lot. I really find your work very inspiring. I have, first of all, like a comment on propaganda versus doing political art. I think propaganda is usually taking one narrative and canceling whatever goes like to discuss or like to talk about a possible opposition of whatever the narrative is. While when we are working on political art, I find it like it's not necessarily to force an opinion, but just to trigger the thought or to raise a question like, am I really what I believe true or not? But my question to you actually, it's about censorship. Since we are in Germany, and we know like it's the country of a freedom, but not in everything, especially when you are working with politics. How do you work with like the rejection or the cancellation culture and censorship that is very popular here in the Western world?
That's a very important question. And so I would say I personally do my work kind of like ignoring the fact that there is censorship, so I don't censor myself. And I think like because of the environments and like the places with which I work, I'm still able to speak quite freely about some things, but I also know that there are places where I will not work. My career is not so old, so I didn't have this like lost opportunities in the sense of like, oh, there were like people and organizations with whom I collaborated before, but then they would be like, oh, right now it's too much. But for example, other people that we are doing gear up with, they are in the situation, and for them it was a decision. They were like, okay, I mean, I'm not going to work in German museums anymore after this project. I know it, and I accept that kind of thing. And for me, it's well, I never worked there, and I don't want to, honestly, right now. Yeah. So, but then there is like, you know, with censorship, what's tricky is that there is one thing that like the risks that you take onto yourself, and then there is like the risks that you create for like all the other people that you are interacting with. Like if I speak about some things, if I do a particular kind of work in a particular venue, what kind of consequences can be happening for this venue? And I mean, I had to think for a moment about this talk here as well. Is it like, is everything's gonna be fine? I was like, okay, good. It's just paranoia, some a bit, but then, you know, these questions, they come to mind anyways. So I would say like so far, me personally, I haven't been like openly censored by anybody. I'm like getting like weird looks from people all the time, but I'm kind of trying to work as if
1, 2. All right, and we're back with the TouchDesigner Roundtable 35. And next to me is Bahram Pourghadiri. Is that right? Perfect. Coming from London, and not only does he run an agency called C Play Dream, but he also, under C Play Show, published a tool with which we can remote control TouchDesigner installations. And I'm very curious to see what Bahram is going to tell us. Thank you for coming all the way.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you. Thank you, Hannah, Stefan, Maxim. Thank you, Sasha, if you're here, for that great I see him back. Right, let's get started. I'm just going to talk a little bit about myself first, and then I'll get on to the main event about the platform. So just a little bit about me. I'm Iranian, so I was born in Tehran, and during the war, obviously not this war, the ones before. So I came to London, and I actually started in economics, so kind of unconventional way of coming into this field. But I went into economics, and then for some reason I got into marketing, and for some reason I actually went back. So I kind of reverse immigrated to Tehran, and I started a news website, which isn't the best idea, by the way. So after a while, I got into a bit of trouble there, and I had to come out. So I started an ad agency in Dubai. I mean, I actually started it in Tehran first, and in Dubai and in London. So it was kind of in between. And I got into advertising, content creation and the whole social media stuff, and that type of thing. That got me interested in the narrative side of things. So with our kind of advertising clips and movies, I like the storytelling, and I was very interested in immersive when it came around, and I kind of had this idea of doing immersive installations, but with a story, with a narrative story, and that's where my interest lies. But today I'm in Berlin, not to talk about that, but to talk about this little platform. And I just want to tell you how it came about. So basically the thing I saw in doing installations in practice, when you're doing it in a venue, it can get very frustrating to just control the installation. You want to take a bathroom break, you can't be there all the time, there are other people there, the client wants some kind of control, etc. So literally after 2 or 3 installations, it was actually after this one I'm showing you here, it was in Covent Garden in London. It was at this installation I kind of had that moment of I should try and build something so that in the future we can control our installations much easier. And then I thought I do it for everybody else as well. And I really wanted it to be for free as well. One reason is to kind of give back to the community. Another reason is that I know nobody in this community pays for anything, so I just wanted to be realistic and keep it free. So the vision for this platform, it starts with live panels, so we can control our installations via our, mobiles, iPads, laptops, but be able to give different people permissions on different aspects of it and to set it up very quickly. But I would like to add many other features to the platform over the coming year or two. And I'm really looking forward to getting feedback from you guys over the next few months to tell me what you want to see on it, and to also tell me what you hate about what's already there, or what you want changed, or anything like that. Please, if you can go, please feel free to get in touch and just tell me what you're after, and I'll try and build it. So if we actually go to the, website here, can you see my screen? Okay, so this is the platform. It's called C Play Show. I just want to take you through it just to show you how quick it is to set up. So you don't need any programming knowledge or anything. It's very easy. So you just log in and create a user or whatever. I'm so worried Google is going to ask me for authentication here. Oh, thank God. So I'm going to put the microphone down, Stefan. Sorry, because I got to type. So just create a project here and go to your TouchDesigner project, which have them side as they say, this is the project I created. So once you've created your project, download the component. And you just simply drag it into your project, like that. And you need to copy this token to kind of establish the connection. So let's bring that down. So you just paste your token, and there it is. It's actually kind of connected now to the cloud. You can give your show a name. I don't know, I'm just going to call it node. Sorry, can't type. Node demo. And you pulse it, and it just pushes all your custom parameters. So here I'd created some custom parameters for the show, and it just pushes those to the cloud. You can put the location of your parameters here. By default, I just have it looking at the project base, but you can put any kind of thing you like. If we go back to the cloud, you see it's there now. So you can have all your custom parameters, which I had set up. These are all the pages I had. They're all set up here. This allows you to create different versions. So I could, for example, go back here, change any of these parameters, and then, sorry about this, and then just push another version of the show. So we have multiple versions, and then you can switch between the different versions as well. So you can always pull different versions from the cloud. But what I really want to show you is the live feature. So let me just create a live panel, from scratch here. You can name it anything you like. And I'll just put 2 of the parameters here, like the bubble size, bubble intensity there. So here you can kind of, if you want, you can change the look and feel of the panel. There are just 2 or 3 skins at the moment. You can change these, I don't know, you might want a knob or something. So you can kind of do that kind of thing. You can have various things. You can move these around, add headings. So like for your, like all these bubbles. There we go. It's better there. Things like that. You can also give panel permissions. So whoever has got access to this panel, you might want to allow them to save the changes they make, or allow them to change the look, or not allow them to change the look, or however you like. And then you can invite someone to this panel so they have control. Do we have any volunteers? So I just send it. Someone who's got their mobile device, I can just give it to them. Come on, I'll pick someone. All right. I hope it's an easy email. Dan, right? At what store, sorry? Function, like this, like that. Okay, so if you check your email now, and I'll just put that up for everyone to see. Let me just. By the way, this is a tutorial I was doing, a pop tutorial. I was give a big shout out to Vasilis, who was doing this tutorial on pops. Oh, you're controlling it already, right? So he is creating a lot of bubbles for us here, I think. And do you want to just increase the bubble size just for people to see? There you go. Yeah, yeah. And so the good thing about this, you can give people various controls. So you might want to give someone, this is how it happened for me. You know, sometimes the client wants some basic control, like a basic start and stop, whereas you want some people to be able to control more things. So let me create another one, like grass, movement, etc. I'll just pick another theme, and you can pick vertical sliders if you like, do stuff like that. And yep, let me just. Okay, can we have another volunteer for the grass? Go ahead. Oh, dot Anna. Oh.
Anna, and then NIC, Nick, and then at hotmail.de.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks
All right. So you should be getting that email too. So you can, I think for you, we've got the movement of the grass and also the height of the grass. So someone's being a bit naughty. Are you in? Oh, that's it. Yeah. So, like, you see the problem there? Like, if you give someone... so, one feature I've built into it, which you can see is needed. If we go, say, to this Anna's, you see the grass height here. So what we can do is, I'm just going to create a knob, which might be better. I've got this fine mode thing, which makes it 10 times less sensitive. So you see, it's so difficult to, yeah. So let's see what it looks like now if you try to. Oh, okay. Oh, update. Yeah. So it becomes a bit harder to move them around now. Yeah. So other things you can do with this, which I just encourage you to play around. You can, for example, the text is pretty cool because what was the name of our parameter? Sorry, interval. Let me show you this. So with this one, with the text parameter, and I'm just going to show you this myself. Sorry. Yeah, so with the text parameter, we can do a kind of live as you type. So the audience can see it live like that. As you can see, the latency isn't too bad. To be honest, the server is actually in the US, so it's going all the way, going back. Yeah, but I put the first one in the US. If we get enough users in Europe, I'll definitely put one here. Probably in Germany, I think, because I think that's TouchDesigner community after the US. But already, I think the latency is acceptable, like for a client or for a real installation. So I encourage you to go and play with this. There's a lot of other stuff you can do, which, like for example, you can save this as a new version. So you can change things live, save it as a new version, and then go back to TouchDesigner and kind of pull the version you want. So right now we've got like our original version, you know, or whatever, the ones we created, etc. So it'll just pull all those parameters back. So you could have like, you know, what I find I'm doing on a project now, I create a few versions and I can show an art director, like the different versions I have. So you can use it for that purpose too. The other ideas I have about what I would like to add to it, but I would really, as I said before, to get your feedback. So you guys also tell me the problems you're running into during your installations, things which you think we can solve with the web platform like this. And I'll try and kind of put them in the queue and try and deploy them. And I'll try as much as possible to keep all these things free so we can all use them and kind of it can benefit us all. And that's it. So thank you so much for holding the mic, by the way. Yeah. I just, Stefan, I realized I should have been holding the mic at the end because I wasn't typing, so sorry.
That's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to feel useful in this kind of very staged setup, which, by the way, is not that we think we should be on a stage and we're so much cooler. It's just sheer pragmatic, right? It was just too much work to get the stage out. This is very useful. I can see a lot of applications. One thing that I wonder from practice is, I mean, this goes through the cloud, goes to US and back.
Yeah, yeah.
I can also think of quite a few installations where people would not want any touch with the internet, but would want something to run locally. Would that be possible? How would you go about that?
It's very interesting you mentioned that, because one of the first feedbacks I've had is, can we somehow get this to work on a local LAN? I'm not sure right now. I can't think of a way because this sits on the cloud. So I'm not sure how that would be possible, but on the parameter control, live control feature only, maybe that could be done. So that's something I'll look into. I've tried to build in a lot of redundancy into it. So for now, I think I have 2 or 3 instances of the database and other things. So also working on the WebSocket, so we have redundancy on that as well, in case that should go down for some reason. But yeah, that's a valid concern. The internet can feel a bit shaky, and I think that's something we need to kind of reassure people about.
And not only that the internet might be unreliable, but sometimes you don't want it to escape that space. If it's a corporate space, then there will be all these security issues. And the other thing is if you have a place where there is no internet, because a lot of it feels like it's also geared toward local control, right? So a client or people who work for the client can stop the show from an iPad, but
absolutely.
But is it in the end? It's a web server.
It's a web server right now, but maybe, like you said, it could be a local web server or something. We can think about things that.
I don't want to talk you into it.
No. But that's what that's what I do want you to do. To talk me into, like, make me think about various directions I could take this towards. But as I said, that's one of the first feedbacks I got. Can you somehow do this locally as well? I've put some kind of things in case you want to stop control from the web, like there's some safeguards, etc. But yeah, I think if at the moment it's completely web-based, so I can work on like encryption of data, better security. It's on the AWS platform, so it's on Amazon Web Services. So. Sorry? So you have a Node.js for the WebSocket, and then kind of Django-based Python stuff for the parameter versioning, etc. Yeah. I guess. I guess. But I'm just thinking like. It could. I just didn't want to kind of overcomplicate it for your regular TouchDesigner artist, but maybe for a corporate world or like a big project. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
I mean, also relating maybe to the client agency perspective, you have now 3 different skins. How difficult would it be for your average TouchDesigner agency to skin it themselves, or clients skin it?
That's a great question. That's definitely one of the next features, is to allow people to add their own skins, and to either make it public so everybody else can use it, or keep it private for themselves. Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting because I've seen a couple of remote things, but the step to skinning it, which kind of needs to happen in the corporate world, was always then now you have to do all this web design stuff, which I really don't want
it's
to
just
do.
too much. I mean, I hope you can literally set it up in 2 or 3 minutes, get it going. But yeah, I think we could definitely add more customization, more skins. Also, like, one of the things I find it's important, which we lack a little bit in our sector, is reporting. So that's one of the things I want to bring to it, so people can see how many people visit the installation, how much engagement there was. So you can also find out more, even as an artist, about how they engaged with it or what. And obviously the data needs to come from the developer themselves, but we could then help to just have it on the cloud and have it looking good, so you can kind of keep a track on it, etc.
I mean, just because I asked these 2 or 3 things, I still have to say it's very accomplished.
No, thank you.
Really, I mean, it already moved a lot from the first version I've seen, and it worked out of the box, like no complication. That's really nice.
I also don't want to give the impression that I'm a good programmer or anything like that. I'm really very, very, very basic. The whole thing was done using Cursor with AI, and I want you to know that I have no programming skills. So yeah.
Well, it's a beacon of hope, no?
There's hope for all of us.
I'm just kind of interested how you came up with the idea, because the last thing I usually want to do is give my clients the illusion of control over a project.
Yeah. That's a good question. The thing is, you know, what I've found, it would be great to get your experience on this as well. What I found is, it's good to give one or two things so they have something to play with, if that doesn't sound like too patronizing. One or two things they can just kind of feel they have control over. Yeah, I was thinking of that a little bit, to be honest. Yeah. So maybe like you can change, for example, in that scene, you could change maybe the ocean color a little bit or something, the gradient or something, or you can change the size of the fish or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I learned from my little project experience is that a very clear scenario for this is you have a fair installation, or you have even a museum installation or corporate museum kind of thing, and you'll have people who have to work there, who have every day 5 groups they have to guide through, and I need to be able to trigger phase 1, and now this should happen, and da-da-da. And I was in a project where that was programmed in open frameworks to run on an iPad, and this project is running for years now on TouchDesigner, and every year they have like a catastrophe when they have to legitimize it to Apple again, that it can go to the App Store and so on. Really very impressive, and like this solves this immediately, right? And without having someone to write it in open frameworks, go through the App Store. So I think it's not so much about the client, but it's about the infrastructure that might surround an installation or an artwork or even a performance.
I think it's 1% about the client. I was just answering the question. I think that it's more about ourselves. Even a simple thing like you have a bathroom break and somebody else needs to be there, and you just want to give them some level of control. Simple start and stops a lot of times. I also then want to, Stefan, go towards working on crashes, you know, because to try and be able to restore, bring it back up.
Do your TouchDesigner projects crash?
Never.
See.
So I think that's one kind of thing I was told straight away. Somebody told me, can you, because there are already systems obviously for things crashing, you know, and coming back up. But again, just to make it a bit simpler, bring it into the same platform so it's all in one place, etc.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, very nice work. I really love it. I wanted to say that I've been working on something similar, so I'm happy to talk about stuff. And I've been working on a lot of web and touch experience. So localhost I think is very, very important. Also, just wanted to stress this, and should be possible, I think.
Okay.
Otherwise, when you talk about the versions of the patch, let's say, or the controls, are you doing like a hard cut to a different parameter set, or are you doing some interpolation of any kind? Because, for example, last meetup we had a talk where Wieland was showing TouchDesigner, which is a preset manager, which would be perfect for this kind of use case. So just wanted to connect these two things.
I think it's hard. It's just presets, basically. So it's like multiple presets you can kind of switch between, etc.
And it's a hard switch.
It's a hard switch.
Just
like 20 parameters change at once, type of thing.
I would suggest looking into TouchDesigner, because it's really great preset manager.
I'll keep working on the UX and UI just to make it more clear. You can do things like that. It's a bit hidden right now, but
Right. Yeah, we'll chat after.
Sure, great. Yeah, and I've got your email anyway.
I mean, time says that actually it's time for a break, so maybe you want to have this conversation right now.
Sure, great.
I thank you very much for bringing this to us.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate you making all the way. And we're going to have a little break, and we're going to come back something like 10 past 10. with the last but not least speaker, Jan Gryczan from alltd.org. I think a very important website in the whole touch designer ecosystem, and I'm very happy that he made all the way from Riga to be with us today. So stay tuned, also on the stream, and we'll be back soon. Thank you very much. And we're back with Jan Gryczan from alltd.org, and I've known Jan for a couple of years. Unfortunately, the thing I associated him most with, the loophole, had to close. And that also was a reason, one of the reasons for you to leave Berlin, at least temporarily. Now he's living in Riga, but he came back to the roundtable a bit more about the new version of alltd.org. Welcome, Jan. You need to do some hot plugging.
No,
yeah.
Didn't you want to do the...
Oh shit, yeah. Oh man. Bad. Promo. And everybody has a better memory than I. Yeah, what I wanted to do, the beloved advertising break. The last one was pretty long, so this one is going to be short. I just wanted to announce I finally managed to put all the courses of our POPs bundle online. So POPs Foundations, POPs Advanced, POPs Case Studies. And because it's 4 of them, you can also buy them as a bundle, which is of course highly recommended because you save incredible amounts of money. I would do that if I was you. Then we are a step further with our creative touch designer retreat in Piedmont. So we know what it will cost. We have some hints on the program. We've written it up for you. We know what the food's gonna be like. We know what exercises gonna start today to synchronize the body and the mind. We know that it's gonna be mainly taught by Simon Ryden, aka Supermarket Salad, but we also have got Macbull Rodeo as assistant teacher. So I think the two of them are a really good team to get started with Touch Designer and to work on individual interactive installations within this beautiful renovated farmhouse. It's a 10-day stay, food, accommodation, all included, and of course learning Touch Designer. And the last thing I want to recommend is our Node Institute t-shirts, which can be acquired at the bar. I think there's only 7 pieces left of an edition of 21. So this is clearly a collector's item. Okay, that was the advertising break. Now comes the hard switch. I do love a hard switch.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Thanks for the speakers before. I'm just gonna directly start. So basically, I'm running the alltd.org website, which is basically I collected all tutorials I could find on YouTube over the last 5 years, and this is the old website, like very basic, just like collection where you could like search by tagging and yeah, I had like a pretty rough winter in Riga, so I decided to make a complete makeover of the site. And this is basically the new site. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit sick. Yeah, where do I start? It's quite big. So I wanted to start basically just as a quick makeover, very easy, and it got somehow out of hand. So if you go to alltd.org, this is basically the landing page where you have like different sections that you can expand with latest featured tutorials, and intermediate tutorials, advanced tutorials, beginner tutorials, random tutorials, and also the latest talks. Quick background, basically how it works is I automated everything. So it checks every 12 hours on YouTube for everything TouchDesigner related. And it basically sends that to an AI that checks if there is transcripts available. If there is transcripts available, it analyzes the transcripts and from those from this analyzation, it you see basically the color coding. So the dark blue is like a pop related tutorial. Here you have top related tutorials, green is and sub related. And yeah, if you click a tutorial, opens directly.
And to show you how to recreate this kind of 3D pixel dripping effect in TouchDesigner.
Okay, let's stop that. And yeah, you get like different tabs where, the first tab is the analysis, which provides like a short AI summary. It extracts from the transcripts timestamps on the right, where you can basically just click the timestamps and it jumps to the respective timestamp. It has the original description, any links extracted from the tutorials. Also like a little stack heat map with timestamps where there is like a little bit more explanation about like what is explained in the tutorial, or where you could get stuck learning, or and the second is which operators are used in the tutorial. Progression is like prerequisites and next steps, which would, if you click it, it would go to the search engine, and then you could basically search for the for those expressions. Next one, is the evaluation. Is basically it's during the analysis steps. I asked the AI to extract some quiz questions. So each tutorial has like basically 10 quiz questions that you could, basically answer to see if you understood the tutorial. What else? Also if there is valid snippets in the transcripts, the snippets got extracted. So you can see here, for example, timestamp 4:45. It's like the usual upstime.seconds transcript, and it jumps directly there, and you can see, if the snippet is okay, because of course, because it's AI generated, the transcripts could be wrong, so it's always good to check within the tutorial if the snippet would be accurate, or if the AI made some mistake. One of the biggest features, I think, is like the note taking. So basically, you're going to be able now to save your own notes on the tutorial. So let's say...
and I'm going to increase our particle effect. Well,
let's say you found this nice part in the tutorial, you just press N, and oops, you have to click outside the player. And then, yeah, you're going to be able to basically take your own private node that would go in your, when you're registered, you have your own user profile, and you can save a private node on this particular topic you're interested in, or you want to save for later. And I also added public messaging that, like, if you want to share a node with other people, you can basically, like, oops, sorry, you can reference, or you can basically share this with other people. Let's say, okay, you found a nice topic that could interest others, just like share it with others. Next ones are not really integrated yet, so I will skip that for now. Yeah, here on the top is the main navigation, top left. The next tab would be instructor page, where basically, the full, every instructor who ever created a tutorial or a talk is listed up here, which you can, in the top right, you can basically change that by activity, or who created the latest entries. For example, tagged, always good ones. And then you just like land directly on the instructor site where you find all the tutorials of this specific instructor. Next one is basic showcase. So how that works, like if the AI took those YouTube videos and that had no transcript, they are most probably just some showcase videos. So, and there's like daily, I think like 20, 30 more videos where everything TouchDesigner related that lands on YouTube is basically also directly landing on the page. It's like big inspirational source for what other people are creating in TouchDesigner. Next one would be snippets. Basically snippets, as before, it's like all the snippets that are extracted from the transcripts of the tutorials. Completely searchable by language, and okay, now it updated because there is like at this moment over 8,900 snippets, where probably 6,000 is abstime.seconds. But you can like search them by different languages, like Python, GSL, expressions, C++, whatsoever. It's a lot to look for, all time-stamped. So basically, if I click here on one with a timestamp, it jumps directly to the video where you have like the instructor putting on the snippet. Let's see. I mean, it should.
Where the field is. So here I'm going to go back to P.
But also, you see that the snippet is here again, abstime.seconds, of course. Yeah, it's like just big, big collection that is easy searchable and I think very helpful. Also, there is like the whole quiz library, so there is basically the quizzes per tutorial that you can just like directly jump basically to those quizzes and just, oops, sorry, and then just take the quizzes, and if you answer here one wrong, you have to wait 1 minute to answer it again. I probably take that off. Strafe muss sein. Ja. What else? Yeah, everything also, like all the quizzes, everything is savable as well as a snippet, so everything you can save all to your public profile and to your user profile, and also in this, let me just quickly show, in this user profile then for the quizzes, they show up, you can sort them, put them in different folders, and yeah, basically create like a learning track for yourself. Let's say if you like working on tracking, like you want to learn everything about tracking, you search your videos for tracking, you search your snippets for tracking, and then you can put everything together in one folder and create like that your own like individual learning paths. Then, yeah, let's stay a little bit here in the user profile, because also you have like the tabs with watch list. So when you're, yeah, let's go back here quickly to the home. When you're here in the home page or in the landing page, on the bottom right on each node, you have basically the possibility to save that to your watch list, which is then added to your personal watch list, that you can also yeah, where you can also select them again, move them around, delete them. But basically, once you add them, they basically show up here in your watch list. So you can quickly collect like a personal watch list where you just want to check quickly, okay, I want to keep those videos for later, and then you can create your personal watch list where, oops, which is also searchable, and once you completed a video, you can on the top left you can just yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this. It was like in the beginning I included this. Basically, it's like yeah. Did you really watch this tutorial? So I included some of the quiz questions, and you have to answer at least like 2 quiz questions correctly, so it will land in your completed tutorial lists. Oops, it's cut off. Okay, there is still some bugs because I wanted to get it up as soon as possible, and yeah. Okay. But yeah, once, oops, let's go back in the user profile. yeah, once you have completed them, you have also here extra tab where you have like all your completed videos. Yeah, a little progress section where yeah, you have a nice up dialogue where it slowly reveals like the operators that you have used or learned the most. So every operator or every video where there is an operator that's included in the video, it gets like, and you completed it, it will, for each video you get like 25% of the operator will be revealed, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can find out. Then, yeah, also, then your personal notes section where, yeah, you have the notes, you can save the notes and then add them to a new folder or collections that you can create. So also good for the learning path you want to create. What else? Yeah, once you on the top left, of course you have to create your account. So most of the features are yeah, only usable if you create an account. But yeah, simple search, and I mean you can find every video without creating an account, but like note taking, for example, is only available if you have an account. Yeah. Yeah, in your account settings, you can also set your account as a public profile. So if you set it as a public profile, you basically going to be able to share it with others, and others can also find you on these public profiles. Like that's mine, for example. Didn't add much yet. But so basically from here you can then, because this is mine, let's go to a different one. From here I can basically send a request, and you can basically connect directly with the person and also send internal messages. And I also added like a public messaging system, basically much like the Discord channel with like different topics tagging, and yeah, everyone registered can write some messages. Also, like as I showed you earlier on the video itself, the public messages will basically go directly to here for the videos if you want to share good tutorials with others that others might not have seen before. I have, and yeah, I think like one main thing is like how do you actually search for tutorials, because I think that's like what we all try to find is like, because I mean of course we know like all the bigger tutorial creators, but as I showed you here in the instructors page, at the moment there's like over 800 different instructors that have at least like one tutorial up, and a lot, I think there is like a lot of tutorials that went unseen or unnoticed by a lot of people. And so basically one good search is of course like always the latest ones, but I also included the timeline in the bottom, which is super hard to see here right now for you guys, but It basically works with handles like a real timeline. So if I change back here now to only videos until 2025 February, so it updates in real time. So you see only videos until December 2024. You can also narrow it down completely to like only like 1 month section. You can also in the timeline click on one bar in the monthly view, then you basically jump into that month and you end up in a daily view. Click on the daily, you see which tutorial got uploaded on that specific day. And like this is like really nice to find kind of random tutorials that you've never seen before. Or you go, whoops, where is it? Oh yeah, or you're here in the random tutorial sections. Oops, expand. And you can just shuffle around always between like 24 completely new random tutorials in this always in the specific timeline selection, which is amazing way to find tutorials I've never found before, and there's always something interesting. So if you run out of inspiration, I always go there. What else? Of course, then we have like the main search section, which is you have like a very simple search that is basically just searching on the video or tutorial name and the original YouTube description, or we have an advanced search which is really searching through 5,000 transcripts. So it takes quite long to search, so it's always good to first do a simple search to narrow down. For example, let's see, doing, let's do tracking. Oops. Where did that come from? So I can see here now, like basically, and with tracking, we have 179 matches on tracking, which is quite a lot, but it's very specific. So if I would like to narrow it down now, I would like, for example, keyword, I would like to exclude, for example, hand tracking, and maybe also face tracking. And if I execute this, now it runs through all 5,000 transcripts, descriptions, and that takes a while. Okay, done. So, wow, that's unexpected, because now, I forgot the tracking. Because let's see how much it finds.
You need some kind of waiting melody, like telecom hotline.
Yeah, because I mean, this like really takes sometimes up to 20-25 seconds, and I'm still trying to find a way how to improve that, but right now everything is kind of on a WordPress database, and it's not the fastest for a search. But yeah, it narrowed it down to 330 tutorials on tracking, excluding hand and face tracking. And also then the timeline got updated, so everywhere you see the yellow bars, there is like a tutorial created. You can also then narrow it down on which time frames you want, which itself takes a while then to update again, but this is actually quite, if like you use the advanced search, it takes too long. It's always like a very good point to just narrow the timeline down before, because then it's only searching those transcripts from this timeline. Yeah, so there's now a shitload of tutorials on tracking, and yeah, I usually just like save them to my watch list, the ones I'm interested in, and then I just go back to the user profile. I run through. I just check the videos. I check like the summaries of the videos, how they relate to what I'm looking for. If there is any snippets, or even in the quiz questions, I can get a quite good overview of like if the tutorial could give me what I'm actually looking for. Yeah, that was like a very quick overview. How are we in time?
Yeah, wasn't that quick after all?
No? Because there's quite a lot more to explore. For example, I also for the search, I'm really proud of this viewer search, because basically you can look also this like. You can just like look for the operators that you would like to search, and then send them to the search engine, and it would include them here in the keywords included, and then you just execute, and it looks then for those operators. Yeah, I'm still trying to do like some tutorial videos about the tutorial video site. But yeah, I'm super happy to get feedback, because like I said, there's quite a few bugs, and I'm really happy for you people to onboard and provide feedback. Best in this public messaging under the first one, LTD. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite the monster that you've created there in terms of depth and functionality.
It was a long winter.
No, I'm quite impressed, because on the one hand, I realized that you're doing a lot of the things that I'm also trying to get into. Simply the idea of, okay, we have like amassed this archive, and there's so much stuff, and it's kind of really hidden away. And now, of course, all these analysis tools allow you to extract a lot of information from that. We're going to have a talk maybe about that later, because you already did a lot of steps. I'm just wondering, how do you feel that people adopt these new features? Like, do they upvote stuff? Do they engage? Do they fill the collections? Can you see that?
I mean, until now, I haven't really. I think it's online now for roughly a bit above 3 weeks. It was down for 3 months, so and I didn't do any advertising yet. This is like basically the first proper presentation.
First here.
Of course. I had my first workshop with you.
Do you feel there was a golden age of the touch designer? Because I see this timeline is very interesting,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I feel like touch designer community is
golden
changing
age.
drastically. So it's kind of interesting to also look at it a bit historically. When did things change?
Well, I mean, you see that, like, timeline-wise, it's like slowly growing in the last 2 years. But I mean, there was definitely a big spike during Corona.
Yeah, okay, that was the kickoff spike.
Yeah. Like,
Do you see any trends, and do you feel that a lot of stuff is disappearing behind the paywall,
Yes,
or would you
yes.
say it's the
there
other
is
way?
a lot of stuff disappearing behind paywalls, and also like a lot of. I mean, what I'm missing a little bit is there is still, or a little bit more in-depth tutorials. Like really, I have the feeling we had like especially during the COVID times, there was like a very, I mean, that's where I think the whole community really got together and helped each other, and everything was free. There was I think there was not really Patreon at that time, or it just started. And I think the community was much more open at this time. Now, I mean, you had this nice talk in India about like this patronization and everything kind of hiding now behind paywalls, or like giving like an overview of a technique, but to get like deeper understanding, you would have to subscribe to the Patreon, pay to the Patreon, and get like how it's really working.
I mean, we are the last ones who can complain about that.
Me too.
But you decided not to be behind the paywall.
It's
You're working on it.
It's half. I'm not so 100% sure right now, because I mean, obviously, it took like a shitload of time. I think I spent like over 3 months developing, and I keep it for free for now, but I'm obviously suggesting people to subscribe to the Patreon. I make it like €3 a month, like cheapest base ever, 1 coffee, because I still have to pay server and everything and development as well. So I will see how that goes, if like people on board and are freely paying, okay. If like no one will contribute, I will have to probably put like some features behind the paywall, or behind like a coffee wall.
I mean, it kind of asks a bit for has included already a gamification element, right? And that might be interesting in a time when I feel like there's more people coming in that do touch designer as a hobby, or just as a really nice thing to do with your time, not necessarily a career. And then that could become quite interesting too.
There is a tiny, I mean, I implemented a tiny gamification in the beginning. It's still there, so you get like 50 XP for every quiz question answered right. There's like a tiny bar at the top, or in the user profile, where you see your level. For every completed tutorial, you get like some XP. For every quiz question, you get some XP. But I'm not sure, like, I'm not a big fan of this gamification kind of thingies.
I mean, this whole
fun.
collecting things and kind of creating your own archive of the things that you've been through, I think that's super cool. What do you guys think? What's your personal experience with alltd.org?
Yeah, does anyone know the old site? Did use the old site? I mean, there's probably a few, yeah.
Come on, let's make this interactive. Who is using alltd.org?
Okay, who will use it after that presentation? Oh, that's nice.
The power of advertising.
That's nice. So yeah, if you use it, please, please, please leave some feedback if things are not working, if things could be improved. If you have features you would like to add, I'm open for everything. I mean, it's like a tool from the community to the community, and yeah, I would like to like expand it. I mean, that's why I created like this whole note-taking, also the public messaging, internal messaging, also like connecting with people. You can message other creators or other even just users, and I'm super curious like where it will go.
Is there, I saw you can upvote things, but is there also something that keeps track of quality? I mean, because with the sheer amount now, of course, the thing that I would find most useful, if you could say, okay, this is like something that most people found useful, or this is something that really nobody finds useful.
Basically, in the videos, you definitely, you can upvote, you have an upvote button. You can also report a video if you find like a complete AI summary is wrong or anything other in the video is wrong. Yeah, you could report the video and I will get it in the back end, the report, and then I can review.
That's relating to your analysis or to the quality of the video itself?
That's for the analysis. I did include like this audit features, which is like a AI audit of the video. Let's check that again. But I didn't found it so accurate, or that I mean, here it would like go by relevance, accuracy, clarity, depth, and yeah, I have to make some fonts bigger. Discovery, engagement, yeah, exactly.
No, but I think it would be much more interesting if I watched this already and then I can give it points on that, because in the end it's still humans are the final receivers.
That's actually, yeah, that's a good idea to, I mean, yeah, the upvote is already good for upvoting, but maybe it's also giving notes, kind of, like do a note
especially
system.
On something like depth, or also is it fake news? Because that's sometimes bothering me when people I mean, it's even worse if it's behind the paywall, but if people just say bullshit with very big self-consciousness, somehow needs to be an indicator for that, I think.
No, but that's a good idea. I have to think about how to best implement that.
What do creators think? Like, Dan, what is your thinking about alltd.org? Would you also, as a creator, put a profile there and kind of, connect with this aggregation, or is this more on the sidelines for you, or Biliam?
I mean, from my side, I really like the initiative of this. For me, it's doing a little bit too much. So, like, if I had like a feature request, would be to remove some features rather than add, because it's a bit noisy for me. But yeah, I mean, I will definitely create a creator profile and try to engage with this. I also wanted to ask, like, if you're maybe planning to open source the website, to put it on GitHub for people to contribute, and maybe fork even and do like local versions of it if they want to remove some features but still keep things. So like because it's for the community, and like I understand that you're also trying to do the Patreon funding of this, but yeah, just wanted to ask if you're thinking about open sourcing.
Depends. I mean, if you don't want to use features, don't use them.
Sure.
Well, it's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cool. Yeah. Also wanted to ask if there's a way to hide certain creators that you never.
Whom specifically?
Maybe Billiam, you know.
Nothing personal.
Nothing personal, but Billiam, yeah.
You don't want to be there, or what?
No, like maybe I want to hide Billiam's videos because, you know.
No, I mean, I try to have like the complete, like the complete selection of all tutorials, hopefully ever made.
But as a user preference, you could like mute this creator forever. Huh? Yeah, exclude it in the results.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the keywords, you can already exclude everything you want.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, Stefan, but yeah, I would.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
I mean,
William?
Yeah. First off, I'm amazed how much you've like work you put into this. It's incredible. It's a huge, like, it's kind of a monster, as Stefan said. But yeah, I'm very grateful that you're building it. I already loved it before, just like the idea of putting all of these tutorials together, because it's a mess. It's the same with like talks files and whatever, that it's just all over the place and it's really hard to find. So I really appreciate you putting in the time to put to make an overview and to make it easier to find stuff. I personally am already overwhelmed with the amount of platforms I have to use as a creator. So I don't think I will actively use it in the way that but it's not that I have to post anything on there, because it's automatically scraping the stuff that I do. I might use it to find other people's work, and that I really appreciate it for. But me as a creator, I don't think I want to be on another platform to answer questions or whatever, because there's already like Patreon, Discord, Instagram, whatever, YouTube.
Exactly.
So in that sense, I don't think I'm going to use it. But for like finding other people's work, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, for me also, I started to integrating the public messaging as an idea to see how people will use it, if they want to use it. I'm curious about the feedback, and I mean, it's easy to kick it out again if it's not going to be used.
Yeah, thank you.
I was thinking if it maybe could also be a way of catching copycats. Like, I heard of some copycats that are around that are just copying other tutorials, like be it AI tutorials, complete AI tutorials, or just like real people who are also copying tutorials like front, left, and center, and to kind of flag people, because I think this could be, now that the community is getting bigger and bigger, it could be something super useful and cool for creators who do their work and then somebody is just copying it.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the public messaging comes in handy again, because if you find a video that is that's clear copy of someone else's work, you can either like tag it, put it in the public messaging board. Maybe I will create a special tag for that, but also you can also, like I said here in this in the report video, you can also just like, okay, this is a clear copy of this person's work, or of my personal tutorial work. And then I get it to the in my back end, and then I can definitely have a look at it and evaluate, and maybe ban this person from the whole site.
I think that's super cool, because you can also, as a creator, probably search for your own videos and as tags and stuff, and then easily see if there's other people copying it, because you know your video, and then you can quickly look through it and then quickly see if there's people who are watching your videos a little bit too closely.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But that's why I thought that this quality thing will become, because I think what we're gonna face is like increasing amounts of just AI generated nonsense, or then maybe later not nonsense stuff. But I think the flooding could be a real problem. That's why I think it can be an interesting tool against this fragmentation that me and a lot of old people already feel this fatigue to, follow, there's the next operator family and there's this. I feel almost like a grassroots movement where we're like, no, we only use vanilla TouchDesigner. No plugin comes into my TouchDesigner. Not even the function store tools. I click 3 times more, No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I think it can be a really useful tool in this whole exploding world to keep track of the things that you're really interested in are really helpful.
I mean, especially I think for like newbie touch designer people, like especially I like this note taking. So you like take a note on the video you liked or on a specific topic or like just a specific technique that is maybe just mentioned in the video, but you would like to take it into another tutorial or whatever. You just like take a note on that, put it in a special folder, and you can always directly jump back to that specific time frame.
That's the point where I also get quite interested for something like that for the Node Institute. To think about, okay, people watch all this stuff, and then you can really take note with timestamps. That's super attractive.
Yeah, because I mean that's for me one of the biggest features I, for myself, was always missing. Because what I did before, I just like I watched the tutorial, I took the tutorial in Obsidian, I tagged the timestamps in Obsidian and kept the notes there, which is amazing as well. But I think having everything in like directly one platform makes it so much easier.
Yeah, first off, this is amazing. Being able to just cut the YouTube algorithm out of the equation entirely is a godsend. Second, the loading screen for fetching the data, rotating banana. No brainer.
True that, yeah.
Hey, I'm a student here. I want to say that your platform saved me. So thank you very much, because I lost my hard drive and we had to turn in 10 homeworks. And you can really tell the ones that I use the tutorials in. I think that it's great. I feel like I was very impatient because I had a deadline. And I think that it does run a little bit slow. And also I didn't know that it had all the features that you just showed. So I think that this idea that you had of a tutorial to use the tutorials, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's been, I wanted to make it months ago already, but it's just like personal timing wasn't right yet. But it will come.
Maybe it needs to be a course at the Node Institute.
Yeah.
3 months, altd.org, deep dive.
Yeah. Can you do an RSS feed? Because I forget. I use about 3 websites. I only remember about 3 websites. So an RSS feed would at least drag me back.
Mm-hmm. Very good idea, actually. I have to write that down, yeah. That makes total sense.
Hello. Thank you for sharing your work. It's really, really incredible. I have a few questions.
Okay.
And a few ideas as to like what this could be. Because I feel, like William said, with all the platforms that creators have access to and like all the different postings that you're looking to see like in sharing your work, I find like great value in like archive systems, like Stefan had mentioned this could be, and it kind of is. Because yes, YouTube is that, but it's like all these different channels that you have to go then search for these different people, and it's limiting in the interaction that it has, like comments. But this is like a hub specifically for that. for people who are learning. So I feel like to even have verification, like they've been saying, like, for example, like you get like a star to have learned this skill and then you're verified on that. So you can put it on your resume or so. And when you finish a tutorial, I mean, for me, like I'm not sharing that, that's in my folders, in my subfolders on my drives. So you could like post a video here. It could be like a platform to share those works that you're practicing towards as well with the rest of the community. And I feel like that could be like visually displayed as well in the nodes that you're making, and kind of like in this cool underneath the video, like you see all these other people that have followed it. It's really beautiful work, and I think it's really great for the future.
It's actually already, the idea is already implemented. I have like uploads where I wanted to basically have people be able to upload their images or short videos or even TOX files, maybe what they created with that tutorial technique presented. But I have to see also a little bit about like how vulnerable that makes the server, because yeah, obviously like it's security issues.
Suddenly tons of advertising agencies start upload shits of mood boards and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to be logged in to use it, so that's already one barrier, but yeah, I have to see how to implement that safely.
Yeah, but the base idea is beautiful, that you can kind of see the impact that something has.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it would be amazing to also maybe share TOX files, so like, yeah, like people could like use it, build on it, and then use other people's TOX files. I mean, it's more like creating like this more community vibe again, open vibe again, the sharing. I mean, that's why, I mean, I always loved TouchDesigner, because the community was always like open, free, so giving. Yeah.
What a beautiful time to learn TouchDesigner. What a beautiful time to learn TouchDesigner with such a tool.
Can I just add something? If you're maybe teaching in a more formal session, this is an amazing resource to pass on for added value outside the classroom. So I can imagine sort of me and Sasha sending students to look at this outside lesson time. So they have, you know, hundreds of easy accessible structures for the tutorials. It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's like feel free to use it for any teaching.
That would be the university version, where you as a teacher input an image and it tells you which tutorial your student just used to make the homework. And then it's like, Biliam, 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 Biliam. Yeah, Jan, thank you very much for sharing this with us, and of course
thanks for
building
inviting
it. And I think we need to have a conversation about scraping the archive. Very impressive.
And also there's like now the big JSON file with like 5,000 transcripts for AI learning.
Can we print that?
It's not a question, just like, may I quickly say that the TouchDesigner Hangout is next week on Tuesday, and everybody is welcome to come. You can just talk to me and get the Discord. Sorry for interrupting.
That's a perfect announcement. I also have to make an announcement. Please take note, the next TouchDesigner Roundtable, number 36, is going to happen on June the 4th. And I think it's going to be quite special because it's summer and we're going to be a guest at the Collage Collective, and who have already been there knows it's a special place, and it's going to be technically difficult, but I think it's going to be very nice. June, yeah, don't mix it up with the American thingy. Are there any more announcements? Tomorrow is Body of Work at Studio 1111. The Trip Festival, obviously, next door. Beyond space and time. What else? The live stream on Sunday. What is it about?
Just some live coding. Live coding will create the crossfader and just yeah. I just started a small repo on the GitHub that's called TouchDesigner Techniques and Examples (TNE). And I want to, you know, because the idea is that you have op snippets which are very low level, just what the nodes do, and then on the other hand you have like a talks library that's already like a ready-made things. And usually our projects are so custom that it's really hard to take some kind of talks and be able to use it without any modifications. So my idea was to start creating this like examples that are a bit more than just like a couple of nodes, but way less than just like a full-fledged talks, to just have it as a starting point, you know, and just like, yeah, to take some inspiration and take some direction on some common kind of techniques and yeah, bits and pieces of a real project. So yeah, Sunday I start at 11 this Berlin time.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Well, with this, we should slowly come to an end with this roundtable. I have to thank Maxime drastically, who's running the stream. Phelan for giving the inspiration of coming to Catalyst. And Hannah for making it happen for us with just a few words. Cici at the bar and Lynn at social media. And of course our three wonderful speakers that made this evening again so inspiring. And of course you. I don't need anything. All right, thank you very much and hope to see you at the next roundtable, 4th of June at Collage Collectives. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Derivative. Yes. And I forgot to say, Lynn also provided all the music for us. So.